Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rock Shop with Ralph. Tonight, I can't believe my eyes. Look who we got. We got Paul and Peter from Alive 75, the ultimate classic era Kiss tribute band. And
What's up,
portraying,
Ralph?
how you doing, guys? Portraying the Star Child and the Catman, we got Bobby Wolf and Joe Gillis. What's up, brothers?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for having us. We've been talking about this for a long time. I'm glad we finally got it together.
Right? And everybody asks about my Kiss prowess and how much I know about Kiss, and I have all my memorabilia. Now I finally got the closest thing I'm going to get to Peter and Paul, because they're on my bucket list, of course. I mean, everybody knows that.
That'd be awesome.
But that would be awesome. That I can end my show. Excuse me one second. I could end my show if I get those guys on. But listen, you guys are great. I seen you guys live. I'm a fan. So I'm not just some guy that said, "Oh, come on my show." You know as well as I do. I seen you guys live, and you guys bring it. I have to let my fans know. There's the poster. The end of the road. It's coming to an end. All things must end. But you know what? I read a quote. It says, "Don't be happy. Don't be sad that we're ending. Be happy that we existed."
Exactly. That's a great way to look at it.
So at least we got to see them, and all things come to an end. I don't think it's the end of the road. I mean, guys, look, we'll talk about it. But what I'm trying to say is, Kiss is an entity. It forms. It's a life of its own, and there's tribute bands about Kiss all over the country, all over the world. And I can tell you, I've seen these guys live, and it was just like Kiss. The closest thing, I'm not going to say it was Kiss, but I'm going to say it's the closest thing you're going to get to Kiss without seeing Kiss.
We appreciate that, Ralph. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But
no sadness. Where that ends, we're still here and we carry it on.
Right. And, anybody who's a rabid Kiss fan knows that you guys can't put that makeup on and not bring it every night, because they're going to let you know.
Oh, that's for sure.
You know what I mean?
That's for sure. Yep.
Yeah. But let's start with Joe, because he's the oldest member in the band right now. Not the oldest age-wise, the oldest tenured member.
Actually, that too, Ralph.
All right. I was being polite, Joe.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. What? How do we start this? Let's start from the beginning, because I want to give the fans a little bit of a retrospective of how you got started, and we'll end with your new stuff that's coming up. So tell me, whose idea was it?
I'll try and keep it short, but it is an interesting story. So Anthony, our demon character, he's the guy that was the brains behind the operation. He had this idea to put it together. Back when they were 15 years old, Anthony Russo, who was the first ace, and Anthony's cousin Michael, who was the first star child. Unfortunately, Michael's no longer with us. He passed away a year ago. But anyway, so they did this when they were like 15 years old. They did a show at the school. They did one at that disco in Brooklyn where they filmed Saturday Night Fever. 2001, right?
2001 Space Odyssey.
Exactly. So they did a couple of shows, like half-assed as kids.
How'd you know a disco?
Just because it's legendary because of the movie, right?
Okay.
So they did this show and that was it, and then often wondered, wow, this would be awesome if we could do this with a big budget and really do this right. So Anthony and his wife had seen a Doors tribute band, and they said, wow, these guys are fantastic. They sound just like the band, but they're just guys in T-shirts and jeans, not putting the show on, not trying to relive that that moment, right? When you were seeing that band. Like you said before, Ralph, it's almost like being at a Kiss show. So we set out to do the Alive record, word for word, note for note, verbatim. And we did that for about the first 18 months or so that the band was together. There was actually another drummer before me that played in a cover band with Anthony, and he moved about 6 months before the original dates were scheduled. I jumped in through an ad in Craigslist, and it was originally supposed to be one weekend of shows in November of 2014, but it was so well received. The fans were so excited about it. We decided to keep doing it, and we've done it once a month since then, up until COVID. There was a brief period where we tried twice a month, but we found we were taking shows that we were just taking them to fill the calendar.
Right.
Shouldn't have. So we went back to that once a month model, and we progressed from Alive to Destroyer Rock and Roll Over era, sort of. We throw a few hits and other hits from other eras in right now. And we're really trying to solidify a direction for 22. I'm not really going to go into that too much because I want it to be a surprise. And we've played anywhere from Montreal, south to Baltimore, and Anthony and I even played in Punta Cana.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to say this to the fans. Okay, this isn't just some put together tribute act. These guys play halls that go from anywhere from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand. They're packing these places. They play the Chance Theater in Poughkeepsie. They play the Debonair Music Hall. They play what's the other one in Jersey you play? Lakewood?
The Strand Theater in Lakewood.
Strand Theater in Lakewood. I mean,
Starland Ballroom, another big venue in Jersey.
Right. And what I want to say in regards to the name of the band is Alive 75, and they modeled the band on the live album, Alive, obviously. But what you have an exact replica of the Kiss, illuminated Kiss logo. It's an exact replica. No, they spare no expense with that. I mean, you can see Peter, the Catman, has the exact, I don't want to call it I always hated by calling it a costume. I mean,
suit, costume, right.
You know what I mean? But I mean, down to his necklace and his tattoo.
And the tattoo.
Look at Bobby. He's got Paul minus the chest hair. You could use some chest hair there, Paul. And the tattoo, there he goes. But what did you mean when you, because I was reading the description of the band, even the smells of the classic era Kiss. What do you mean by that? Like armpit odor? What do you mean?
No, you know what? That's so funny, Ralph, because I had forgotten about that. We only did that early on. So early on, we had a playbill, and it was a cross between a concert and a theatrical experience. So like you're saying, the stage was an exact replica. We had a lot of input from people that were involved with Kiss back in 74, 75. J.R. Smalling,
yes,
road manager.
The road manager. And he's the one who screamed out, you wanted the best, you got the best.
He's introduced us many times.
Rest in peace.
He gave us little pointers, yes, and he became a real good friend of the band before his passing. Len DeLessio, one of the photographers who was heavily involved with Kiss. He provided some of the pictures, which enabled us to create some of these replica items, like the candelabra, for example.
Right.
So we had a lot of help. And the smells you talk about, the first couple of theater shows, we bought, and Bobby, you might be able to help on this. It's a theatrical, I think it's theatrical sage to come up with a pot smell.
Are you serious? That's the smell?
And so a couple of the guys on the crew would run around the theater before we opened the doors with this burning sage. And I'm telling you, the first time I saw Kiss was February 77. I was 15 years old and I never smelled pot before. And I was in the garden and I'm like, holy shit, this is the exact, this is the exact
smell. I thought you were talking like the smoke machine or something like that. This guy's talking about pot.
We actually.
You mentioned Len DeLessio. Here's a Len DeLessio photo. I gotta frame this.
Is that from the Stanley Theater?
That's from, yeah. Well, this is from excuse me. Stanley Theater, exactly.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I bought this. I bought this at the Kiss Expo that I saw you guys. Len DeLessio was there. Guys, you should check out Len DeLessio. He's the original Kiss photographer. He sells a lot of original portraits of the band. I mean, I got another one up there I got from Len. But yeah, he does
He's got some great Kiss stuff and some great $1 Billion Babies era Alice
Cooper, correct. So, Bobby, I didn't forget you. Bobby's the newbie. And I got to tell you, Bobby, and this is no knock on you. I mean, I've seen and heard you. You're great. Your predecessor, his name was Mark Fox. I want to give him a shout out. Mark was a friend of mine. I know him from the Long Island music scene. And he was, I mean, it was like Paul Stanley reincarnated. I mean, he really was good. But Mark, unfortunately, had to leave the band. He had some issues, and he's been replaced by the newbie, Mr. Bobby Wolf. and we want to welcome him to the show and welcome him to the Alive 75 Kiss world. Is this your first interview with Alive 75, Bob?
No,
Okay.
it is not. Yep. The first one was 25 minutes ago.
Oh, damn it. Joe, you told me I was getting them. Yeah.
My
Ralph,
first one
I'm
was
sorry.
Joe. My first one was Joe. So we're technically tied.
All right. The first day. So, Bobby, the floor is yours. Welcome to the crazy world of Kiss. And tell me, what attracted you to this gig? What attracted you to the band?
Well, all right. What attracted me to the band was Anthony Russo. We made a good old-fashioned Craigslist guitar trade. I had a Fender Strat, and he had a double-cut Les Paul. We got together. That's how we kind of, I got a little bit of insight at, to what he was doing. And I thought, oh man, that's fantastic, because I'm still in the musical theater world at that point. I was still doing my shows and whatnot. And I said, oh, I'd love to do that. And I guess that I don't think they had Mark yet. And it might have been like, maybe we're having to look for someone. I said, oh, I'd love to do that. I've loved Kiss since I was 8 years old or 7 years old. And
Who didn't love Kiss? Well,
right. I know maybe 4 people I know. Yeah. I mean, there are people, musical theater people, that come up to me saying, that's great. I can't wait to see you. I saw Kiss 3 times. You saw Kiss. You've been to Phantom of the Opera. You've been in this. How do you know about Kiss? Yeah, I know. We love Kiss. Okay. All right, man. They transcend every genre. It's fantastic.
And I want to give a little bit of your background. You're in musical theater. You were in Jesus Christ Superstar. And Cats, so many, right?
Oh, Rent, Mamma Mia, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor. It can go. Aida, Xanadu. Right. Go ahead. It's
so
Beauty and the Beast.
You were born for this. You were born for the stage, and you were born for this. And your resemblance to Paul is uncanny. So I mean,
that takes work. It takes work, and this is the first time for the season. So
right. Now let's talk. Let's talk about the outfits. I'm going to call them outfits. I'm not calling them costumes. I can't say that word. Yeah. How long does it take to put the makeup on? And where did you get the outfits? I mean, do you go to like an exact replica? Because obviously, I think Paul and Gene keep those under wraps, and they can't be exact because they'll sue the pants off you probably.
Yeah, we've sourced a couple different vendors over the years. We had some help from existing tribute bands that have been doing this for a long time, and some of those guys pointed us in the right direction. We found some that we used early on that we've moved away from and found better ones. But yeah, there's a number of people out there doing it. The boots come from one place. The Jean Demon armor comes from another. All the spandex suits come from a pretty local resource here. She makes all of them for us.
Right.
And then we have to do, like you see all that fancy sequin work on Bobby's costume. Bobby did that himself.
Wow.
Which is painstaking, takes a lot
nice, Bobby.
Than I have.
Thank you.
Mine came pre-bedazzled, so I didn't have to do that.
Now, let me, here's a question as a fan. I told you I don't do the conventional interview. Has Gene and Paul ever seen or heard you guys, and have they ever said anything about now for you to use their likeness, like Peter, for instance, or Paul? Can you do that? Can you get in trouble for using their likeness, or is there any legalities regarding that?
That's a very typical question when
especially with Gene and Paul.
If you run into someone who's not a Kiss fan and they say, that's the first thing they say. They say, wow, do you have to pay a license fee, or do they give you a hard time? And the answer to that is no. I think all of us in the tribute world assume that the reason is that we play these little nooks and crannies that Kiss may not get into. We're helping them keep the music alive.
Sure, that's a good point.
What they do look down upon, you can't sell anything with these likenesses. You can't sell a shirt with these faces. You can't do that. If we do that, they'll be all over us. Right.
That's a very good answer, because that's exactly what I wanted to know.
Right. So, we're enjoying it as long as we can until they decide that they need to get paid for it. And like I said, I think we are helping market to some new, younger audiences that may not get an opportunity to see a real Kiss show.
Right. Now let's talk about playing out, and let's talk about the music. I mean, you've played with some of the Kiss members. You've played with Ace. You've played well, not with, but on the same bill, right?
No, not with Ace, but with
Peter.
Peter at the Kiss Expo in Manhattan. And Bruce was on that bill. Bruce was sharing our dressing room. Bruce was using my makeup mirror and hanging out with telling stories. And it's great, being able to get the real inside track from someone who was there. It's pretty cool hanging with him.
Wow. So what was it like with Peter? I mean, you're portraying him as the Catman. Is he bitter? Does he like it? I mean,
I have never met Peter, and he lives about 10 minutes from me. I've never met him, unfortunately. Anthony met him briefly at the expo. I have a signed poster from his last appearance in the US, complete with a actual piece of the drum wrap that my replica kit is made out of, but the actual from the original kit. But I haven't been able to connect with Peter, unfortunately. I'd love to. He's one of my first influences. I'd love to have the opportunity to thank him.
Yes. How about you, Bobby? Have you met Paul? You met anybody from the band?
I haven't met anyone, but at one point I stopped and got gas at a gas station that one of them had gotten gas at previously. So that's about the extent of it, I think.
So why did you answer by saying, Ralph, that was a stupid question. I never heard anybody. I never met them.
Because I'm a wise guy.
Yeah. But you know what? Even your mannerisms, even the way your diction of your voice, you sound like Paul. I mean, Paul has that same tone in his voice.
Cadence.
I watched a lot of videos of everything from how his shoulder moves, hands, how he turns his head.
Right.
Hours and hours and hours of studying.
Yeah. As I'm telling the fans, I mean, these guys, you could see they put their heart and soul into this. They don't just show up, put a half-ass suit on and say, "Oh, I'm Paul or I'm Peter." I mean, they go all out. They have the exact replica of the live stage show. I mean, you got to see this. Anybody that's out there, you have to see this because Kiss isn't going to be around forever. And this is what we have. We have tribute bands. We have people that are taking the torch and they're carrying it. And they sound and they act just like them. That being said, what is your take, Bobby? Do you think that Kiss will continue without Gene and Paul, without the original? Well, when I'm saying the original members, I'm saying Gene and Paul. You think they're going to continue with four new members? What's your opinion on that?
No, I don't think they will. I think they've talked about it, and I think honestly that they're batting it around. They probably talked to Eric. They probably talked to Tommy. They probably talked to the management. They probably talked about what it would take, what it would entail. But I honestly think that Paul and Gene will sit down and they will say, I think the end of the road should be the end of the road. I would love this entity to go on, but I think it means too much to them. And I think they will end up realizing that the original four, even though it's the only the original two, they will eventually come to the point where they say, no, it was the four of us and it should always be the four of us moving forward, or at least the two of us. And no, I don't think they will continue on with the new Kiss version.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
I think Bobby puts a good spin on it that they're definitely talking about it. We know they've talked about it. They talked about potentially a television show like American Idol to find the other two members. But I think when it comes right down to it, it's their baby. It may mean too much to them to let it go. I think that's an interesting angle, Bobby. I think you might have a point there.
Hey, I'm going to grasp at straws now. Me being the rabid Kiss fan, I think that there is too much money to be made, and Gene and Paul love making money. I think that Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons will replace Gene and Paul, and they will get another Catman and Spaceman. You heard it here. That's my opinion. Go ahead. They're both musicians. They both play.
Yeah, right.
They both look like their fathers.
That's an interesting thought.
It's interesting. With the utmost respect, I have to disagree just because from the little I've seen and have gleaned from their personalities, I do not think they want to take on that persona. I know Nick has joked around with his father endlessly, but I don't. Not to mention, he would be 7'2" in the boots, right? Isn't he about 6'8"?
He's a big kid, but
It would be unbelievable. He'd look like Shaq. But no, I don't think they adopt anywhere near their fathers, either of their fathers on stage personas enough that they would want to pursue that, even though I think that they respect them enormously for what they've accomplished and what they put out.
okay. Let's talk about the songs now, guys. The era that you're playing, do you concentrate solely on the debut album up until the makeup came off, or you're concentrating on Alive, Destroyer, Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over?
So in the beginning, as I said, we did the Alive album, note for note. When we moved from that, we started to go into like 76, Roosevelt Island bootleg. That was the set list. Now it's a Destroyer Rock and Roll Over era, which at that time featured some songs that wound up on Love Gun. And then we do throw in, which we said we'd never do in the beginning, but we do throw in a non-makeup song. We've got Tears Are Falling.
Oh,
We do, not that it's not makeup, but we do I Was Made for Loving You. When we go out for these last 3 shows of this year, we've added a couple things. I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say what they are.
Creatures in the Night? Anything from Creatures in the Night? No?
We've talked about that. I'd love to do that whole Creatures record. It's a phenomenal album.
So, Bobby, the floor is yours. Can you give me the intro for Tears Are Falling?
Here's one. This is the first time we played this on this tour. Love that one. That cracks me up every time. Love it.
Hey, you ever seen the one on YouTube where they do all the hey, let me hear you. That's all they do. A whole 5-minute clip of all the heys and hoes from Paul.
Hilarious. Love it.
You guys, do you do anything from Dress to Kill? That's my favorite album from the Kiss. Is Dress to Kill. I'm sure I know you do Rock and Roll All Night.
We experimented when we first got away from doing the Alive record. We experimented with doing things from the first 3 records. Just really cool songs. Love Her All I Can.
Come On and Love Me.
Oh, shoot. Well, yeah, Come On and Love Me's on the Alive record, but we did that. What was it? We did another one. But, we were surprised. Room Service, Love Her All I Can. And we were surprised that they didn't go over. I guess people were expecting the Alive record and that's all. But now it's funny when you pull out I Was Made for Loving You, for example.
Right.
The casual fans get it. They love it. The girls are all singing along. Everybody's dancing. The true diehards that have seen us a bunch of times and they're the real hardcore Kiss fans, they stand there.
Well,
they don't want to see I Was Made for Love.
As a hardcore,
you got to try and make everybody happy.
Right, exactly. Too many hits, so many hits, so little time. But as a hardcore Kiss fan, Peter didn't play on that.
Who you say? Be Anton Fig on that?
Yeah, well, that whole album, the only song that he played on Dynasty was Dirty Living.
Yeah, so that's probably Anton Fig. On that
that's
song.
yeah. I mean, Kevin Valentine played a lot of drums for them. Dick Wagner did a lot of guitar work. A lot of people thought it was Ace. He was like the 5th member of Kiss. We could go back and forth all night. I'm just saying the rabid Kiss fans, they call it Kisco. A lot of them can't stand the Dynasty. Meanwhile,
so it was funny too. You talk about how we stuck so closely to the stage show and everything was replica because the guitars were exact. We even had a Marauder that Paul used to smash. We didn't smash that one because it was pretty rare. But we do smash a guitar every night.
You play a Washburn,
my
Bobby?
Drums.
I don't have a Washburn.
I'm sorry, Joe.
That we kind of no.
All
No,
right.
eventually the
Client
PS10 will
base.
come out eventually.
I'll get back to you, Bobby. I interrupted Joe. I'm sorry.
So the only thing that wasn't exact on the early stage was my drum set. It was a 72 Ludwig, which Peter played one briefly. And as you said, I think in the beginning of the interview, or maybe when we were talking earlier, Ralph, you said that the Kiss fans will jump all over you if you're not exact.
Yep.
No one ever said anything about those drums except a buddy of mine from high school.
No shit.
He's like,
He plays Pearl.
so now I have the exact replica of the Destroyer kit.
Yeah, the exact replica.
Exact replica.
You want to divulge how much that cost you?
It was pricey, not as expensive as the one. I almost bought the mirrored kit that actually Eric Singer wound up buying.
You mean his actual kit you almost bought?
A guy, we ran into a guy who built the kits, who still builds the kits for Eric on this tour. And he had posted the mirror, the diamond, the glass, cut glass mirror ball kit. And I'm like, I need that. I called him up immediately and he goes, I got to call you back. Eric's on the phone. And then he went back and forth. He bought that, but then he gave it back. And then this guy, Billy, built him 2 other kits. So then they built me another one using the honeycomb kit, which was the Destroyer kit.
Wow. Bobby, what's your favorite Kiss album, makeup era? What's your favorite one?
Love Gun.
Love Gun. And how about a song off of Love Gun? What's your favorite song to play?
Love Gun.
How could you not love that song, man? Right?
If anybody was to say to me at any point in time in my life, Bobby, you've got a chance. It's going to happen this week. You're going to play in a Kiss tribute band or a Kiss, but you got to pick one song. Love Gun.
Love Gun.
I wouldn't even that period.
How about the lyrics? The lyrics to that song, man. I mean, I really love you, baby. I know what you got. Let's get together. We can get hot. No place for hiding, baby. No place to run. You pull the trigger of my love gun. Fucking great.
About it.
Fucking great.
About and
what?
Not pretend.
You know what got me as a Kiss fan? I was 6 years old in 76. Destroyer 75, 76. I heard "Do You Love Me?" and Peter with the drum. Shh. You really like my limousine. You like the way the wheels roll. Here it comes. You like my 7-inch. And I'm like, oh. I'm like a little kid. I'm like, what's he going to say? And he goes, leather heel. Come on, man. Those are fucking great lyrics, Paul.
I just heard the struts.
A little off. It's fantastic. That cadence is like a little
right.
He does that beautiful. Yeah, it's sweet. And the heels are actually 9-inch.
Well, he says you like my 7-inch leather heel. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what gets me? Because I'm a rabid Kiss fan, my whole life. I've been taking it from fucking all angles between being a Kiss fan and a Mets fan. But Peter, the knock on Peter was he wasn't a great drummer. Do you realize the amount of hits that he played on and the timing he had to have and the sound, the whole Kiss sound, the classic era Kiss sound that you guys are playing? You take Peter out of that, you can't play that.
It doesn't sound like that. And
it doesn't sound like that.
When I joined the band, I'm like my background, I'm an 80s metal drummer. That's the way I play.
That's me. I'm an 80s metal drummer as well.
That's not the way Peter plays.
No.
And so one of my very best and oldest friends, when I first joined the band, he goes, oh man, he goes, you know that record inside and out. We've been listening to that since we were kids. I said, that's what I thought until I sat down to listen to it and really get into it. And there's some just little nuances, the style. I have to force myself to not play like Tommy Lee, like that,
right.
That sleazy LA metal style. I have to try and play more like Peter. So it's a conscious process to play more like Peter.
Yeah, Peter played more swing, more jazzy.
Yeah, and just some nuances, and we can get really deep and technical.
Right. I understand.
The drum freaks among us would appreciate it, but it definitely was a work in progress that I constantly have to think about. Otherwise, I slip back to being more of me.
Right. Bobby, I know you mentioned Love Gun. But
Yeah.
what's a song that you play by Kiss where the crowd just goes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up when you play it? Which song is that?
I'm trying to, because there've been very few opportunities I've gotten up to actually perform it. But if I recall last from Massachusetts, I think Shout It Out Loud, I remember. They kind of went the most.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Another classic that, if you couldn't let me, it said, Bob, Love Gun's off the table. You can't sing Love Gun. Shout It Out Loud. That's a good one too. That'd be up there too.
How about you, Joe?
It was always Black Diamond for me. But
Oh, and by the way,
there's,
which by the way, you sing as well, and you sing Beth, and
Right.
you're singing Black Diamond. I just want to mention that to the
well,
fans.
so a funny singing story. Again, I'll try and keep it short. But I never sang before I joined this band. And when I was talking to Anthony on the phone, he called me back. He said, "Look, I just talked to my cousin. He said he knows you. You're a great player. You have to learn how to sing." Like, what do I do? So I had taken drum lessons from a guy. I won't reveal his name until the end of the story. And he has a studio near me. And I called him up and I said, "Hey, I got an opportunity to play in this Kiss tribute band." He cut me off. He goes, "And you got to sing Black Diamond?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "No fucking way." He goes, "You realize that I auditioned for Kiss when Peter left, right?" So, oh shit!
Wait a second. Let me try to figure this out. Can I figure it out?
You can try it. He's a Jersey guy.
Okay, finish the story.
So he said, "Well, I had 3 days. You got 3 months. Come on in. Let's do some lessons and give it a shot." But that was Joey Nivola.
All right, I'll mention somebody else, but no problem. All right, Joey.
Joey auditioned for Kiss. He felt, that he had a good shot until he sang, and he can't sing a note, and that was it. But so I learned how to, I learned how to do Black Diamond and Nothing to Lose first, and those are screaming.
Got nothing to lose.
It was so much fun,
right?
And then when they started talking about doing Beth, I'm like, holy shit, this is not like behind the drums screaming into a microphone. This is out in front of the stage on a stool in spandex, mind you, by myself with no band. And the first time I did it, it wound up being in front of 1,500 people at an outdoor show. And it was wild. I was scared shitless, but
I always thought that
really got into it now. I love it.
I always thought that Peter's songs were awesome, man. He was such a. I thought he sang better. I mean, and this is my opinion. I thought he sang better than Gene.
He's got a cool voice. Raspy.
But his solo albums. Oh man, and I love you, Peter. If you ever watch this, I love you. But the songs in Kiss were great. I mean, Hooligan and Baby Driver are two of my favorites.
Hard Luck Woman.
Hard Luck Woman was a hit. But that song was written for Rod Stewart.
Right. I was just going to say that. And then Rod wasn't interested.
Right.
Peter does a great job. Very Rod-like, very raspy.
Yeah, great job.
Great job. What so now I mentioned your guitar. You're saying you don't play a Washburn, Bobby?
I do not. No, because I think that came in
later on, right?
Washburn in the 80s. He started he was at BC Rich for a little bit. Touched on Jackson, played a couple of Les Pauls, but Washburn went down the road. I'm more of I have his Explorer, 2 different Explorers, V's, the Firebird, the PS10, and for right now, that's it. If I had his money, I'd get a Marauder, but they're hard to come.
Right, if you had his money, exactly.
I don't know what happened to the Marauder we had.
Yeah, that's it's rarity
because we had it. I don't remember.
If I'm not mistaken, there were 700-ish ever made. That's it.
That was it.
Yeah, this one was sold, but I think.
But Bobby, if you could divulge into or dive into like the 80s Kiss and sing a couple of songs from them, not the ones that you played already, which songs would you want to play? Well, and which albums?
From the 80s Kiss.
Yeah.
Forever.
That's a great song. Written by Michael Bolton.
It was it really?
Yes.
That slipped right past me. that Forever, I think that's an awesome tune in every way. Bruce was tasty as heck on that. Oh, I'll catch a lot of shit for this one. Let's put the X in sex.
Oh, you like that one, huh?
Don't know why.
Man, even
Rock
Guilty
hard. You make me rock hard.
Guilty pleasure. I get a kick out of that song. Heaven's on Fire too. Heaven's
on fire. Yeah, I love. You know what? I get a lot of flack for this. I love the Crazy Nights album. I love that album.
I like a lot of the 80s or the no makeup stuff. Animalize, Lick It Up. You know, a lot of people bash that. Again, the purists, but I love it. I fell out, honestly, a little bit at Dynasty and Unmasked.
Unmasked.
I'm right back in with Creatures, Lick It Up.
Creatures
is phenomenal.
The drum sound alone on that.
The drums are monstrous.
Right?
Monstrous.
And here's some trivia. Who wrote the song Rock and Roll Hell?
Bryan Adams.
Exactly. Way to go, buddy. Good. Yes. Bryan Adams wrote Rock and Roll Hell on Creatures. Yeah. Awesome album. Michael James Jackson produced it. So guys, what is your take? We're gonna wind down now. What is your take on Kiss? And I know we said we don't think they're going to continue on with members. We already discussed that. Do you feel so? Let's just say, for instance, we take no new members out of the equation. This is the end and that's it, or do you think there'll be a band that doesn't tour anymore, and let's say 5 years from now they'll throw the makeup on and they'll make an appearance and they'll do it? What do you think?
Hard to say. They already announced that Vegas residency after the end of the road stops. So that was always Motley Crue's out that like, we won't tour, which was bullshit anyway, but they would do a residency. Maybe Kiss pulls that off once a year, does a stretch, maybe once every 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hard to say. I mean, the money, the money's going to be hard for them to pass up, but they're freaking genius, 72 years old. I mean, when is enough?
And I will tell you, I seen them at the Nassau Coliseum and my hand on a stack of Bibles. It was one of the best performances I ever seen them play in my life. Gene was unbelievable. Paul was unbelievable. He had a little bit of help, but as far as the show and the showmanship and these guys being in their late 60s, early 70s at the time, phenomenal.
Yeah, I saw him in Atlantic City 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Seventh row center, and it's a phenomenal show.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Bobby? Do you think on this end of the road, do you think Ace and Peter will come back, possibly do a couple of shows, one show, maybe do the end stretch of the tour? What's your opinion on that?
I think there's an outside chance they get up for a song or two or make an announcement or something like that. And then moving forward, I think that health permitting, there will be opportunities where they come together. I don't know if they're going to be able to stand up to the rigors of Celine Dion or a Wayne Newton residency being, on that bill. But yes, and I do think that I'm not sure about Peter's health, but Ace I could definitely see because he somehow always seems to have that little tie-in with Gene. They go back north and spar, but I think, that's possible. That's at least for a song or two. I can definitely see them saying, guess who showed up? This vagabond's back here. Let's bring him out here, and have him. I don't know about the makeup. I don't see him in the makeup.
Yeah.
I never see him in the makeup again, but I do see them kind of, plain clothes.
You would hope that would happen, but I don't know.
Here's a question about the makeup. Let's see if you guys know. When Ace and Peter left and Tommy and Eric took over, do you think that Ace and Peter own the images to their faces and they sold it? But hold on, let me finish. Let me get your opinion. I'll tell you what I think. I want your opinion is, did they own those likenesses and say, we're quitting, I'm selling you my Space Ace image, costume, everything for $5 million, whatever it was. And they bought it and they can use it. And I think Peter rents it to them. I mean, it's only my opinion. I think Ace sold his. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I think Peter sold his, and I think Ace rents his. That every time they use it, they have to pay him. What do you think? And if you do know something, please let me know.
My understanding is they both sold those likenesses away.
Okay, there you go.
It wasn't like when they left the band, they sold their media. It was a little later down the road. That's my understanding. I could have it a little bit wrong, but they sold those likenesses, and now that's why they could reuse them for Tommy and Eric. Which again, the purist makes people friggin' crazy.
Yeah.
Eric's not the Catman. He did a good job. I saw some cool things the other night when I saw them. But the makeup thing, that's why, like I said before, when you asked about us having to get permission,
right?
If we started selling shirts that had these images, these iconic images, they'd be all over us.
Right, they'd be lawyers.
Have you all over us?
Have you guys ever met Gino Paul?
No, but you asked a question about that earlier, and right in the very beginning. And you've seen Anthony, and that's actually another topic that we have to touch on today. But Anthony does an unbelievable job as the Demon.
I was going to mention everybody's name before we leave.
And right in the beginning, we were starting to get, favorites and likes on Instagram from Gene's daughter,
Sophia.
Yeah,
Sophie.
So for about a 2-week period, she was favoriting them and commenting. We're like, okay, so Gene has definitely seen this, right? But hey, while we're on Anthony's subject, I don't know, Ralph, you may or may not have seen it. We just went public with this last week on social media. Anthony is leaving the band.
He's leaving, right?
So we no ill will or anything.
Right, he's just decided to move on.
Yeah, he and I have been partners in this since the beginning. It's run its course for him. But I've had very good discussions so far with some guys from very well-known tribute acts, some really phenomenal players. And we're going to get together with me, Bobby, and Pat and decide which guy best fits the bill. Anthony's boots are big ones to fill. He does a phenomenal job.
Yes. And so, the last gentleman, I'm sorry, who portrays Ace is Pat Papora. I want to make sure we mention everybody. Bobby Wolf, who we met and we know and we love. He's part of the family now. Joe Gillis, Anthony DeLucia, and Pat Papora, respectively, the Demon and the Spaceman. Those are the 4 members up until the end of the year. Then they're going to search. So if anybody out there, right, is there going to be open audition? Maybe we can get a couple of people.
Absolutely. Reach out via Facebook or the website. Give me a call. As I said, I've talked to about 5 guys so far. And again, all with tons of experience, great resumes. So we want to see who does the best job, and not only who does the best job, who's a fit, who can get along with the rest of the band. Because me, Bobby, and Pat, everybody's real easy to get along with, and people. So people from our area, Ralph may know Pat. Pat played for a long time in it was Kiss Alive NYC, I believe was the name of the band. So Pat's been at this like 15, 16 years. And he's friggin' Ace Frehley, man.
Right.
He's from the Bronx. He looks like Ace. He plays like Ace. He talks like Ace. So it's awesome having Pat in the band.
Yes. And you guys got some gigs coming up. I know you want to tell the dates, September 18th, October 2nd, and then 2 more.
We do, sure. So this month, September 18th, we're back at the District Center for the Arts in Taunton, Massachusetts. We've played there a couple times, inside and outside. It's a cool venue. October 2nd, we're back at the legendary Chance Theater in Poughkeepsie. Always a great show there. Good time. Place has been around forever.
Yeah.
And then the last one for this year is December 4th at Debonair Music Hall in Teaneck, New Jersey.
And that'll be
another great venue. They treat us well there. It's not real big, but it always sounds phenomenal. It's a great place to play.
And that'll be Anthony's last show?
That will be Anthony's last show.
Okay. So
we
you heard
starting to line up things for 22. I got a bunch of things in the works, and we hope to keep plugging along.
Awesome. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Alive 75, their website is www.alive75.com. I have it posted on my page, and I'll post it at the bottom of the interview. And you guys want to say anything before we wrap it up to the fans? Bobby?
No, thanks for having us, Ralph. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah. And then you guys can come back anytime. I mean, we could talk for hours and hours and hours, but people got to understand, we try to condense it in the format which we have.
Maybe we'll break down, we'll pick an album and we'll break it down.
Exactly.
That'd be cool.
We'll go song for song.
Yeah.
Bobby, I want to thank you for.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate meeting you and you having me out here and with Joe. It's awesome. Means
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're part of the Rock Shop family now. So you can come on anytime you want. My page is always open. My show's always open. Joe, same here. You can come on anytime you like. And you guys will definitely be on again. And that's what we'll do. When you have another show that's close by, we're going to talk about a Kiss album. We'll have a whole show. I'll even do a live stream where we'll have fans call in and ask questions. How's that?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Breaking down a record.
Love that.
Cool.
All right. And I want to say hello and goodbye. Hopefully I see Anthony before he leaves, but hello, Anthony. And wish you nothing but the best. And Pat, hello. I didn't forget you guys. Maybe we can get you guys on the next time. All right. So Alive 75, Joe and Bobby, thank you very much. And Joe, I'll send you a text. I got to tell you something. Okay. Thanks,
Sounds
guys.
good, Ralph. Thanks,
I'll
man.
see you guys. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Bye now.